gotta change over here. There they are. There they are. Hey, hey. And just like that, it's done. Hello, friends. Thank you guys so much for...
It's amazing. That big crowd just got me really pumped up, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. You can't tell because, you know, this is me excited, but I'm pretty excited right now.
Well, I'm
excited for this interview.
I'm excited as well. By the way, you know, I know I warned you guys that there would be interruptions, but I didn't know that there was going to be an interruption like right off the bat. Like I was going to have to start being Hot Boy Summer right off the bat. So there you go. Yay. But I guess...
the only issue I have with it is I don't know how we're supposed to follow that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, that's what sells right there.
That was pure fire, so I don't know what we're supposed to do
fire.
now.
Yeah.
Pure fire. Thank you so much for those kind words, but I still have these fucking sunglasses on. Jesus Christ. They're hanging off my face. But I thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words and sitting through all of whatever that was. I appreciate that very much. How are you guys doing today? How are you? Coffee? Yeah.
Yes, lots of it.
Lots of coffee, yeah. You know, I woke up, I don't know, you know, I woke up at like 11, so
nice.
Here we are.
That's tight. Dude, I fucking miss those days. I have a child now, so those days are no longer here. So I'm awake very early. Do you both?
You're very, very awake.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm very awake. Yo,
I don't know. It's been very overcast here in the Chicagoland area for the past few days. So, you know, time is just a concept. It's always gray.
Yeah, we're actually fellow Midwesterners. I'm in Toledo, Ohio, which about the same kind of weather. I think you guys are a little windier, but but yeah, it's like pouring here right now. So, but this is like,
well, I mean, I think you guys are directly in line with our jet stream, so you just kind of get all of our shitty first.
Yeah,
you know? We're all downwind from Chicago's shitty storms, but that's okay. I don't mind. I feel like the Midwest is just like this big mono cloud, and it's like you get like 80 good days of sun a year, and the rest is just like you live in semi darkness and weird weather. And
80 is being generous, but yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. And we hold those days so dear.
We do. My God, it's so true. There's been some good days going around, and we've been taking advantage of them. Lovely Lace, welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, you got family in Lima? Nice. Lima's okay. Cartagena. It's there. It's a place. It exists. Yeah, there is a place out there called Lima. But if anybody has any questions for today's guest, you guys know what to do. Use your fresh bars to ask our guest a question if you are interested. And so you guys are from the Chicago area. You guys born, raised? Is that like your spot, your thing?
Yeah. I grew up in sort of like northern rural Illinois, and then moved to the city in my 20s. But yeah, pretty much always been here. I've barely left. It's a place.
Like Lima, it's a place. I would disagree that Chicago is more than just a place. I personally love Chicago as a city. The traffic's atrocious, but like as a city, I love Chicago. I spent a lot of time there, played there, you know, as a Midwesterner, you know, making my rounds. So I have a deep appreciation for Chicago, but it's like the capital of the Midwest. So it's like, I don't know. I don't even know what that means, but it's you know, like all my friends who, you know, graduate high school, who are just lingering around, not knowing what to do with their lives, ended up in Chicago. You know, it's like the closest big city that's not Detroit, you know, like Detroit's just like, no, we want to move up in the world, not move over to Detroit in the world.
Yeah. Chicago has empire vibes.
Exactly.
You know, so whatever that means, however you want to like take, but it feels like it here personally has empire vibes.
Yeah. well, I mean, shit. When you look at it, and you look at like the empires that were made in Chicago, even from like the crime bosses, you know, the mafia, to to fun mayors and governors that you know, were very powerful for a city, you know, powerful and corrupt, and like it's like one of those cities that is big enough to have a history of corruption. You know, it's like it's that big of a city.
You know, and that never ended. It just changed.
Yeah, it just changes faces. It changes. Yeah, it's a different face, same corruption. Just
right. Exactly. It's just a feeling in the air.
Yeah.
It's just kind of accepted without, you know, like, I don't know if it's, you know.
It's fine though. Like, you know, when you grow up here, that's like, you know, I can say it's a place, but I haven't really left, you know. It's great. There's a million, Chicago is a million places, really. You know, everywhere around it and within it, there's just like a million different cultures and so many different scenes and types of people and types of music. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to compare it to anywhere else, because I feel like
the Midwest in general, but especially like the Chicagoland area, kind of generates strong work ethic, almost kind of like unhealthy strong work ethic.
Yes, for sure.
Where, you know, but yeah, that's something that you kind of take with you. Kind of take Chicago with you if you've been here long enough. Like if you go out of state, it's just, I guess everywhere it's like that, but there is something specific in the attitude, and don't really care for when people fuck with you, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like when you see the attitude of Midwesterners towards stuff like, you know, identity politics and stuff, like there is definitely, like, I lived in California for 13 years and then moved back here about 4 years ago now. But like in California, in these coastal places, you know, where they have a different outlook on everything, especially in Southern California, those people are just permanently hot tubbed and sunbaked, and just, they have no idea what it means to like have like half the year fucking trying to freeze you to death. You know, like they have no idea what it's like to unbury their car out of like feet and feet of snow. So it's like, there is just this different attitude and different character out there, but with that, just the way they outlook and just the way of, and I said identity politics, but like it goes on further than that. When you talk to people from the Midwest, they generally don't care. And like you were saying, it's like, I don't care about him, her. I just want to live my life and work my job and come home and do my thing. And I feel like that's something that's sort of built. I don't know. That I think it does sort of come from that hard work thing, that hard work ethic that you were kind of talking about. And I like how you said to that it could be kind of a negative thing in ways. For me, it was like my parents were both are very hard. Well, my dad's dead, but my parents were very hardworking people. And they projected that, and they were like, "You got to work hard." You know, that was definitely ingrained. It didn't stick very hard, but it did. It did stick hard in the things I like to do. But
right.
But it's like you get this thing from parents where it's like, especially if you come to a parent and you want to be an artist, right? And especially if you come from a parent and you're from the Midwest, and you're like, "Hey, guess what? I want to be a musician," and they're like, "Fuck you. No, that's not why we worked our asses off to send you to college," or that's not why we worked our asses, you know what I mean? And so you pointed over to Kat. Well, my parents weren't very toxic about it. They're pretty supportive at the end of the day, but it was still something that resonates. You know, it's like, make sure you go to college. So when you, please.
Yeah, I think Kat definitely dealt with that more than me. Here's a twist in the plot, though. I don't know if that's so much Midwestern as much as kind of sexist, and it's because, you know, when I brought my art idea to my dad, it was like, "Let's go get you a drum set."
Right.
And I thought everybody had it like that. And when I talked to her about it, she's like, "Oh, no."
Well, my background is very eclectic. My grandmother is actually like fresh off the boat, you know, from Germany, from the work camps. She was born there in a concentration camp.
Holy
and then
shit.
after the war, my family came here, and, you know, they're just very, very like blue collar, like, you need to get a job. Like, you know, like they wanted me to go to beauty school, you know, and like music's not a real job. And it totally is a real job. There's so many different things. And, you know, it's so interesting. Like Tony brought up sexism a little bit. And like part of that is like, you know, like being part of coming from like an old world culture. but also like just, yeah, in music, like it's easy not to really notice, but in music production, like I think like 5% of music producers are women. 10 or 20% of audio engineers are women. It's like, you know, it's just a whole area of work. Like it's a whole career that a lot of women never even know exist, you know, and like men are introduced to this at a much earlier age because they're out playing shows and whatever. And yeah, my family initially, like as a hobby, they thought it was great, but as a job, they were like, no, you know, like I started working full time at a car wash when I was 16, you know, like that's like where I come from. So it's like, it's hard for me, I think, to even accept that like this is a job sometimes, like and doing this is actually like I have like this internalized like need to be perfect at it and need to do more, like even though it's like, you know, we're starting to actually get in the groove with this and produce another artist and everything. So,
but you know, growing up and working for other people our entire life, everybody, you do get a sense of validation, whether it's because of a paycheck or it's because you're being responsible, you know. So there is like this like psychological validation that you don't necessarily get, especially in the beginning with art. You know, you only kind of get the dopamine hits when you see people enjoy your art. You don't necessarily get the security dopamine. So for us, taking that work ethic and having these experiences in the past, working for all these people and getting that specific kind of validation, not getting it immediately when it's in art, can be scary. You know, because it comes a different. It's not nearly as predictable as like a day job. You know,
absolutely,
because you have good months and then bad months, kind of thing, and that's a whole lifestyle to get used to. That's not normal, and you know what's normal. You know, so
I know.
It's more no matter, like, you know, like it's less secure, but I find more spiritually rewarding personally.
Well, you have to learn, like, you know, with this kind of job, like, okay, I'm gonna pay my rent like 2 months in advance, and now I'm gonna like literally like eat saltine crackers for a week, you know, like it's like it's like, you know. So
no, I completely get that. I get that aspect, and it's just like at certain points you don't really feel like this is a job. Like yesterday, I mean, I work for myself doing, you know, this and the podcast and musicians and all this other stuff. Musicians, plural, okay. But I was thinking, we went to a bakery at like 11 a.m. and got like a whole loaf of this amazing garlic bread. And then I came home and ate like 3/4 of a loaf of bread, just bread. And then I went and like laid.
That's me, dude. I feel you. I
went and laid down on the couch like, what other job
would
I ever have where it's okay to eat almost a whole loaf of bread, and then, you know, I'm going to take the afternoon off. I'm going to just lay here and let this process. And it's like only somebody who works for themselves in a job like this where you could just sit there, eat almost a whole loaf of bread, and, you know, take the afternoon off, and whatever, you know, as long as I'm my own.
That's kind of tied into that, like that potential like negative part of it, though, you know, because like sometimes I will do that. I will eat that entire loaf of bread, and then I will stew on how I'm not doing real work.
Yes.
I'm not actually a productive member of society. I just think I am, kind of, because like I'm eating a loaf of bread on the couch. Even though I just, you know, her and I just finished working on a project for 4 hours, it's because it's not set up like the typical 9 to 5 work.
It's,
you know,
so deeply ingrained into us.
Yes, and go down those rabbit holes of like, man, I'm not good enough, kind of thing.
I feel like at where we're at in building our business and everything, it's like we're always working and we're never working at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm like learning a lot of things about internalized self-worth by doing this and being self-employed, because I've worked jobs, like I said, for 12 years at corporations or small businesses or what have you, like salaried jobs, hourly wage jobs. And like you start realizing things when you're working for yourself, like if I take today off because my period cramps are really bad, is that like because I'm lazy, or am I just like conditioned to believe that I need to work no matter how sick I am or how bad I feel, or whatever family emergency I'm having. Like I remember like when Tony's dad passed away, you know, rest in peace, like he was working, he never took a day off. And it's like, that's like, is that really something to be like, that's awesome, like good job? Or is that kind of like, oh, like maybe like you deserved to?
That was actually a moment of clarity for me when I realized, because Kat had been talking about this, that potentially toxic dynamic with working your ass off. And it did come right after my dad died a few years ago. And I was like, I was originally proud of him. I only took one day off, you know, and that was the actual day they put him in the ground. And like, I noticed the reactions I was getting from people were not like, yeah, they were like, okay, like, yeah, do you need money? Is that what you're saying? Like, it was coming off the wrong way. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's really weird. Like, I probably should have taken more time off. That was a pretty intense time. But my brain was like, no, you know, like, go balls deep with your fucking pizza job, dude. You know, it's like, what is that?
But that's not
it
bad.
Was pizza.
But on the other hand, it's like, I think if you are gonna work at a pizza place, then fucking work at the pizza place. Do your job, do it well. You know, fucking do your thing.
I hear that. That's I'm glad you said that. I actually did. I went ham at that pizza place because honestly, but you know, you got to understand, I was coming off of, you know, being homeless for a half a decade and you know, being on hard drugs. So like, I treated this job like it was my only way out at that time because no one was gonna. And so yeah, I did. I just put my nose down and I was like, they want to like offer me management positions immediately.
That's nice. That always feels good. No one ever offered me a management position. But that's only because I as a worker, I'm terrible. Like, I don't care about, if I don't care about what I'm doing, I'm not going to do it well. And that's why I've sort of just like, it's either I got to do it like this or I'm just going to be a bad worker. And yeah, I know I just said, if you're going to work at the pizza place, do it big. That's why I don't work at the pizza place.
Right. Yeah,
it's because fucking the pizza place make me want to fucking chew on the end of a fucking gun. You know what I mean? It's just like,
oh my God.
Oh, yes.
It's so bad.
But you know what? That response was amazing. By the way, you just both were like, oh God, yes. Because we just know what that is, right? We know
song that we wrote that's very dramatic. That's on our Spotify. Called Sucker Punch, and it's a standalone single. We wrote it. It's like in between the Escape Artist and our first album. We had like a single, and it was about working at this pizza place. Tony and I both worked at this pizza place, and Tony was such a good employee, and I was terrible. Like I was so like bad, and like they couldn't do anything about it because they didn't want to like make it awkward for Tony.
Yeah, so they didn't want to lose me, so they wouldn't fire her. So they would straight up have low key meetings with me, like, dude, you got to talk to her.
Get her under control.
Get her under control. It's like she goes, I go. We're in this together.
But honestly, I'll never forget that because that job literally financed that first record. So that's all we did was we just waited tables and went right back to the apartment and recorded.
We're grateful and hateful
at
the same time.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes you got to do things that you absolutely hate to sort of get to the other side, to get to whatever goal you're doing. Yeah. And it's like working out is a great example. It's like I fucking hate sweating and I'm big and I'm dumpy looking and I'm on an elliptical going, but I know that if I don't do that, then everything else goes to shit, right? And so it's like you gotta sort of you gotta keep it going. I kind of how did you guys meet? Because I feel like you guys are talking about, you know, you're talking about drug addiction for 10 years and stuff, and you talk about working at pizza places and stuff. So how did you guys meet and start forming bands and stuff like that? What's that tale?
This is the
good story.
This is the longest answer of any question that you will have today.
We got plenty of time.
Just
please. We got plenty of time.
It was like this great intervention of sorts. Tony and I had no idea who each other was. I was like working in sales. I think I was 23 or 24 years old. I was working a sales route, like 15 hours a week, just driving around, you know, talking to businesses, sales stuff, you know. And there was this homeless guy who would panhandle on my route back to the office. And so I would give him like dollars and cigarettes sometimes if I had anything on me. I mean, one time I gave him like my organic vegan granola bar.
Aww.
And he like left it on the ground the next day, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I just threw it on the ground. I didn't eat it.
Like,
oh, the homeless person was Tony.
Well, I didn't think she was gonna come back the next day and see it on the ground.
No, but check it out. Okay, so this is a horrible story. Like, I think it's funny because it's like my life, but some people, this is pretty intense. But so, reeling it back a little bit, I've had like a pretty rough upbringing. Like, you know, I ended up getting involved in hard drugs when I was 15, 16 years old. My first overdose, I was 18 years old. I overdosed in a public bathroom. Life was saved just very narrowly.
On what, if you don't mind?
No,
on what? What was your drug? I'm sorry. What was your drug, if you don't mind?
Heroin.
Ah,
IV heroin. Yeah.
Lovely heroin. Yeah, I've had fun with that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, please. I'm sorry. I was just curious on what.
No, it's all good. Yeah. So I got clean when I was like 18, and I just kind of was. They call it white knuckling in the recovery community through life, where I had no idea what's going on. I was like pretty traumatized from my experiences and stuff. And I was just, wanted to do music. Like I said, I had kind of like a family that wasn't necessarily like super supportive of that idea as a career. And so I ended up kind of giving up on it, going for the easy life, or what I thought was the easy life, the sales job, was in this relationship with this guy who was cheating on me, but I was like, that's what men do. So I was just going to deal with it, Yeah. And that was my perspective on life at that point. It was dark and sad, and I reached a certain breaking point with the sales job and everything. I remember. Yeah. So I'm like 23, 24, this homeless guy, I see him. I know he's on drugs because you just know, and so one day I pulled my car over, I walk up to him and I'm just like, hey, what's up? He's like, what's up? And that's when I saw the granola bar. But I was like,
asshole.
I was like, why are you out here? What's your deal? And he told me, he was honest. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, can you get me some drugs? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, what if I give you like $50? And he was like,
okay.
That works. Yeah.
So like, long story short, we end up taking these drives like during my my sales work days, like into the city and buying these drugs, and I just get wrapped back up in drugs, and my life falls apart and I lose my job, and I end up like breaking up with the guy I'm with, and just like kind of like falling apart entirely, burning down my entire life because I hated it anyways, and I wanted to like at least have fun on the way out. Yeah. And, it was sort of like I said, like a divine intervention, because we started doing these drugs together. And then like, because we were spending all this time going, like driving together, we would talk a lot about music. And I come to find out like Tony had been in bands, did audio engineering, or so he said. I don't know. He's just a homeless guy. So I don't know.
This guy's just like, yeah, I'm fucking famous in Japan.
He's like, I used to be in a band with Bob Breyer from My Chemical Romance. I was like, okay.
All right. Yeah.
Sure. Good.
No, but yeah. And then because I had a whole thing before I had ever met her. Bands are like, way back in the day. And, but engineering and producing was always something I've been doing almost my whole life, since I was like 15. And I had quite a few experiences and stuff like that. I went out to Arizona in 2005 to make it official and get like a certificate so I could get a job, even though I was a pretty good engineer at that time already.
What school was that?
Conservatory, Crass, out in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, great school. Awesome.
Yeah,
school.
they're like pretty well known, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're like
Full Sail.
They're like the competitor of Full Sail, I guess.
Gotcha.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Same idea.
Okay.
I got a job before I even finished school out there with a corporate gig, touring like cover band, paid really well and everything. So I was like pretty set up. But I had acquired like a pretty nasty Xanax addiction. Before I went out and while I was out there, and because I was also drinking too much.
They usually go hand in hand, right? Like drinking and Xanax, which is it's the worst combination though. It's like you're guaranteed to black out. Let's go.
Absolutely.
There's no question. If you want to black out tonight, it's happening.
It's gonna happen. Yeah. So yeah, I went through all that, and I started getting homesick, and I wound up coming back after about 2 years, but the homesick was really because I ran out of Xanax. And, and I didn't know.
You weren't homesick, you were dope sick, son.
At this time. No, I am fucking serious. I didn't know anything about withdrawal at this time.
Homesick.
Yeah, homesick. Yeah. No, dude, you're detoxing. But anyway, so I wind up coming back to Chicago area. And in fact, I moved right in with Lonnie, the bass player in the band. And it's like this shitty little shack on Austin in Berwyn. Anyway, I just get more and more and more depressed. And this comes back to like a whole lot of stuff I never dealt with when I was younger, didn't know how to cope. And then my drinking picked up back up again. And then I got introduced to powder heroin, and I never looked back. 10 years went by, and I just burned everything down. I don't know what happened. And I met her.
What year was that happening? Like
2008, I want to say.
Wow.
That's 2007, 2008.
There's like a weird thing with Tony and I. Like our parents both like lost their houses about the same year. We both started using drugs like heroin, street heroin, the same year. It was really weird. Even though we have like a 12-year age difference, it's like we didn't know each other. It's just like it's just strange that all of a sudden like we're both using, like, especially since at the time he was like 27, 20. Like it's weird that like you don't usually hear people just like starting to use heroin that late. Like usually it's much younger.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I went like whatever that was, 8 or 10 years, and just moving all around, just being homeless and doing that. And
can I just stop you 1 second? Please put a pin in that, because we got a question from this chat, and they were asking, was the housing laws because of the stock market crash of?
It was in my case, it was because my parents. It was because of the predatory loans.
Yeah, exactly. The whole market crash of 2008. It was like a big deal thing where everybody was flipped upside down in their mortgages and couldn't afford their houses anymore. Like,
and at the same time that was happening, it's kind of destroying morale and physical houses. Like heroin was just kind of like
that big wave.
Whoosh,
yeah,
and
the fentanyl. Didn't the fentanyl start peering around that time, or that was a couple years later?
Her and I. Thank God, man. Her and I got out of the game right as the fentanyl was hitting. We started doing it, but that was in 2016. Yeah, was when it really started hitting the West Side out here. And then because we noticed the difference, and I don't mean to be too graphic, and I apologize for any any recovering addicts. In fact, I want to like kind of disclaimer this because there might be some imagery, and I do not want to like mess with anybody else.
Yeah, trigger warning, everybody.
With that said, I kind of lost my train of thought. Can you help me out?
The first time the fentanyl came.
Yeah, the first time the fentanyl came around, Kat and I noticed it, and we had a very, very high tolerance at the time. And for us to notice a difference, we knew something was going on. We didn't know what it was.
I remember Tony grabbed my arm because he went first, and he grabbed my arm, and he was like, oh shit. He's like, be careful.
I'm like, be careful with that. Okay. So I'm sorry about that, but that's how we knew something was changing in the game.
Were you guys using intravenously?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony's got a lot of scars from it.
Yeah. My hands, I can only use 3 of my guitar playing hands.
This is stuck like this. You can't.
Yeah. This finger won't go back ever.
And that's from just shooting?
I can't really use that finger anymore when I play guitar.
What the fuck? Dude.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I know.
That's from shooting into your hand.
Yes.
Show them the Africa.
Oh yeah.
No, this one.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, kids. Check it out.
Oh my God, dude, you went hard. Okay, you were hardcore.
I went really hard.
Okay. So I got one little one here, and it's like, oh, I better hide that. Yeah. I got that one and this one over here, but okay. Well.
Man, that's really awesome that you put it down too. That's really great.
Yeah.
Well, it was either that or die.
Right? It's that simple. It's crazy.
And also, I was trying to date a girl I really liked, so I didn't want to be an asshole. But
there you go.
Anyways, I keep interrupting, but I want to.
No, this is great. So yeah, I went through. Where was I at? It got really bad, and then we started getting in trouble with the law. Just
a lot of friends started dying.
People were just dropping like flies around us.
The most terrifying 5 years. Like trying to stay clean the past 5 years. As I told you, I came from like rural northern Illinois, rural suburban Illinois, and for some reason that area, like where I'm from, got really slammed. And I have pictures of me and kids that I was in high school with, or pictures of my brother and his friends. And like, it's crazy because it'll be a picture of like 7 kids, and I'll look at the picture and I'll be like, oh, there's only 1 person alive in this picture, or 2 people that are still alive who are in this picture. It's crazy. Yeah. Like people dropping like flies at 17, 20, 22, 23, like on their birthdays. Like it was insane, you know, with this fentanyl and everything. Like, and yeah, the police were closing in on us. Like,
what were
just
you guys
nabbing us on possession charges? We weren't really
we weren't doing it like really selling or anything.
Yeah, we weren't like being criminals, but they don't, cops just don't really care for homeless heroin addicts.
I should be in prison right now, honestly.
Oh, I would. I went.
Oh, well, there you go. Well,
I had to take. Well,
go ahead.
I went because I really couldn't stop using. And rehabs weren't working. My threshold was like 6 months, and I would you know, fall off.
Wow.
So the second time her and I got arrested together, I think she bonded out, but I told the judge that I'm like, I need to go to the joint because I can't quit, you know, and probation won't work. And he's like, all right, that's, you know, that's admirable. And, so yeah, I got a year, but you know, I only had to do 6 months, and then I got 2 months good time. So I was out in 4, but it totally helped. It totally like kind of punched me in the face, you know.
Was that a rough stint for you, those 4 months? Was that a hard thing for you to do?
Not in the way you might think, not in the way Hollywood might have you think, but it was rough in my own way. But I needed it. It was like my own tough love for myself. I knew I had to go through it. Stateville was rough. Stateville is the place you go before you get shipped out to the real prison. It's where it's the in-between place from county, and it's a full max. It's 24/0. If anyone knows, that means you don't get out of your cell. 24 hours in, and that's it. And then you get 30 minutes a week for a shower. So the insanity part definitely happened. I was hallucinating and everything else. Like it's not normal to be in a room, a 9 by whatever room, you know, for that long.
I think that the solitary confinement is way more damaging psychologically than people realize. I hallucinated pretty badly on like my 2nd or 3rd day in solitary confinement when I first came into jail.
Whoa.
And I had thought that it was from coming off the drugs, but I don't know, man. It's like when you're in like a little cell like that, and it does something weird to your brain.
Yeah, I think that there's actual studies that back that up, where it drives people insane. Like the idea that you're going to teach someone a lesson by putting them by themselves seems a little ridiculous when you know that it's just the amount of stress. I mean, a baby needs to be held or it dies, right? So that, I mean, how much does that speak to how much humans need humans? You know what I mean? Like if a baby is not held, it dies. We need each other. And to sort of separate each other, I mean, that's just fucking, it's cruelty, man. It's cruelty.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I did this thing. I got out, and Kat and I hadn't seen each other for a few months, and I got a job flipping burgers, and she was still out doing that bullshit. But I was actually trying to get my shit together, but I was kind of falling apart in my head. I really didn't know what was going on. I was kind of white knuckling it, and Kat really fell apart when I went away, and she was out there really bad. And then her probation was running up. She knew she was running out of options. She was like really bad shape. And then she went to a place called Haymarket in Chicago. It's a rehab. And at the same time, we weren't really talking much, but at the same time, I kind of got into some shit with my PO because I left like the 3-quarter house that I was at, and I wound up getting high, and I had to admit it to my PO because I was living out in Dixon with my dad. Ironically, that's where I went to prison, was in Dixon.
Oh, shit.
And that's a whole nother story, which is crazy. My dad lived in the same place his entire life and then moved to Dixon, Illinois out of nowhere. At the same time I was being sentenced to Dixon, and he had no idea I was going to Dixon.
Whoa.
So, and it's like 200 miles away. Wow. So it's really intense. Like, I don't know how that happened. So my dad actually got to visit me at the joint, which is super surreal. And I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, I literally live down the street now. What the fuck? And it was really weird. It was really, really surreal. So anyway, back. Yeah, I get out, and then I get in a little trouble with my PO. I'm staying out with my dad, and I call Haymarket to try and get a bed, not knowing she was there.
Oh, wow.
And I call, and they're like, we'll call you back the second we have a bed ready. And I was like, all right. The next day, the phone rings and it says, hey, Marcus. So I think it's them. And I'm like, hello. And it's her. She's like, hey, Tony. I'm like, whoa, what's up?
I called him from detox at that same rehabilitation center.
So I had the same phone number. And I'm like, my brain's kind of like, what the hell's going on? And she's like, hey, why don't you come here and get help? Are you on that bullshit? I'm like, yeah, I just fell off. And she's like, come on, come and get help. And I was like, let's do it. So I really did. And then I put the phone down. And then like the next day I checked in and I saw my PO and he knew I was there. So he wasn't going to send me in, to violate me. And I never looked back. That was it. And her and I reconnected at rehab. We did our own individual programs. Men and women are separate. They were pretty they were pretty cool though, because they knew her and I had a relationship before we came in.
Yeah.
So they were kind of like loose on some of the rules. If you meet while you're there, if you meet someone while you're in rehab, they're like, hell no.
It's usually not good news.
But
I mean, it's usually not good news. Like if you like do drugs with somebody and then you're like, let's be normal people together now. Like usually that's not a good idea either.
It's all gonna work out great.
Yeah. Everything's gonna be great.
It's like we're like that, like we're very aware of like the methadone clinic couple stereotype. Like
yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, no, I've been in that situation.
And, not knocking any maintenance medicines because she was on maintenance for like a year after and I did Vivitrol.
Our program that we did was really like we each did rehab, like intense inpatient rehab, which is basically like inpatient hospitalization with group meetings and a lot of like evaluations, and they make sure that you don't have any diseases or anything. They help figure out health insurance for you. We live in Illinois too, and Illinois has like really good health insurance programs for people. Well, not really, really good, but like better than nothing health insurance programs for poor people. So that really saved us, I think.
Yep.
Not to get too political, but yeah, we both went in there and we each did one month of inpatient rehabilitation. And then we did something called a halfway house, which is essentially like half hospitalized, half regular life. And we each did that for about 3 months. So it's basically like you live like a very, very like scheduled life. You have chores, you have to like do these groups, but then like they give you a chance to like get jobs, go out to meetings and talk to regular, like other sober people in the real world, they give you a little bit more freedom. So we did that for 3 months. So it was like 4 months of that.
But then we ran out of, that's it. And then you gotta like figure your shit out, and that was right around the time I had gotten that job at the pizza place. And she was working too. And so no one would rent to us because we were, fresh out.
Convicted felons.
So we literally got an Airbnb and we paid them up front for a month and we got a deal for it. And so we had 30 days to like find a place for real, and then
we were blessed.
We were blessed because like a lady I work with named Sandra, it's funny because her and I like didn't get along. And she's like this little Mexican lady and she's just like the sweetest thing. We had like some culture clash and everything else. And like, we just didn't like each other. Because we're both kind of headstrong.
Right.
He's feisty. Mm-hmm. And we wound up becoming really good friends. I just made an announcement like the last week of our Airbnb at work. I'm like, all right, if any of you guys know my story, I'm like, me and my, at the time, girlfriend are looking for a place. And we're kind of running out of options. And Sandy, out of everybody, like came up to me afterwards. She's like, hey, I got this apartment in Rogers Park. Why don't you come in and move in with me if you guys really need a place?
That's like North Chicago.
And she's like, you can come look at it tomorrow. I'm like, no, I don't need to. We'll take it.
No, it's cool. We're good. We're moving in. We're taking it.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were there for like a month and she's like, yeah, you guys really need this place by yourself. Would you rather have it be by yourself and the rent double?
Yeah, we were going to be roommates, but I think it was just like kind of awkward for her. So she was like, yeah. And so, which was cool. So she ended up getting her place like
right upstairs.
And we ended up like just staying in contact and everything,
And that's where Ken and I built the first studio in that living room and bedroom in there. And that's where we recorded the whole first record, the Home Is Not a Place record.
I was working as a cook at this restaurant called the Chicago Diner. It's a vegan restaurant.
Oh, right on. Hell yeah.
But I was working there full time and Tony was working at the pizza place and we just like we were not making that much money, enough to pay the bills and then like a little bit extra, and we were just taking every little bit extra that we had and buying equipment off of Craigslist, equipment off of, Reverb, talking to different people and getting like free old equipment. We got like some free old equipment from a church from somebody that Tony worked for.
Yeah, love free equipment.
We have this like PA from the 70s that we use.
That's great.
Love that.
Because we got it from a church.
I think I saw somebody asking about if we had ever thought about writing a book.
We got a couple questions I want to get to.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we do. Again, everybody. Again, everybody, it helps me keep everything organized if you guys use the fresh bars so I could see the questions directly. But we got another question. But yeah, please answer Bonnie's question if you'd like. Any plans on a book or anything to kind of tell your story?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
We're doing the music thing pretty hard right now, so there's really no time to. And I think maybe trying to find a creative way to tell it rather than just a first person narrative.
Just a standard book, yeah.
So like we definitely want to, though. We just want to be creative about it and make sure that it's interesting from the beginning, and that it's not in any way a glorification of the events.
That's the tricky thing with what we're doing, because we don't we laugh about it now, and it's funny, and sometimes it sounds like kind of crazy and like chaotic good, but it's like, it's really like, it was really painful experience for us. So we are going to write a book about it eventually. We talk about it a lot in interviews and everything. Right now, we're definitely focused on the music and doing the things in life that we missed out on.
Yeah.
Rather than spending too much time living in the past, because sometimes we can do that and get down on ourselves. So I think maybe in the future, there will come a time, maybe 5 years from now, where we will go more in depth into that, but it will be a whole journey, I'm sure. So.
Hell yeah. Bonnie, or your favorite today. Thank you so much for that subscription. Did I put your friend Bonnie as did I thank Bonnie, or did it? Your favorite today. Thank you so much for that sub. And of course you get, just like the E-girls, you get your name on my arm. So I'm just going to put today, because your favorite today is super long. Hope you don't mind. There you go. Now I hope you feel special. I would shake my my breastises at you, but I do not have very big ones. So next time, your favorite today. Amaranth is back, by the way, everybody. Indie Fox and Amaranth is not banned anymore. They're back in action. So there you go. We had another question for you guys. It was from Cartagena. Your favorite today. Thank you for that. Woo, I appreciate it. Cartagena asks if you have any advice on helping someone quit.
Yes, I think a big thing that people talk about in recovery is having like a moment of clarity, and taking advantage of those is important, because they will happen, like where you're using and you suddenly like have that dark feeling that's like, oh wow, this is not what I should be doing with my life. And I think like a lot of people are afraid of that feeling, and like it can trigger you to want to use more and to get rid of it. But when you embrace that and you start, like, that's the first step, is like embracing that like realization that what you're doing is causing you pain in your life and causing you to feel worse than you would without it. And then going forward from there, and keep going, because it's not going to be linear. Like recovery is not linear. We tried quitting. I went to rehab in the year of 2016 alone. I went to rehab 7 different times, like all state funded rehabs, as many as I could, like trying, and having this internal struggle. I had like a 6-year hiatus from drugs, and I slipped back into it and then pulled back out, and being able to like value yourself and understand that like what you're going through isn't like inherently an issue with who you are as a person, but it's like, it's an illness, just like cancer or diabetes, and you have to treat it by going and doing these things and trusting the process. Like, I'm almost coming up on 6 years right now, and I do not follow NA. I don't read NA books anymore. I don't go to NA meetings. I don't go to AA meetings. I am a fan of marijuana. It's legal in the state now, so I can feel comfortable smoking it. And I think it's good for me. I don't drink alcohol. I found my own form of recovery. And I think that's important too. Like sometimes people hyper focus on being perfect in recovery, where it's like, you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't have caffeine, you can't have any of this or that. And it's like, how about we just like,
and if you screw up, you got to start all over.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, Jesus, calm down.
You know, I understand the urgency in some of it, you know, things like a lot of drugs, like it is urgent to quit them, but it's like, let's, you know, sometimes start with this stuff that's like as the most dangerous stuff first, and then go from there and see what is beneficial to you and what you can live with and without, and make your own kind of way through it. Because having a framework is good. And I do believe, for me, it was very important that I stayed completely sober my first year of recovery. I was on maintenance medication called Suboxone, which I recommend to some people in
that shit got me through some shit. It saved me. The last time I came off of dope, it was literally that and weed that got me fucking clean. And I was the same way. I don't know. You said you don't go anymore, but I never went and got help. And which I actually wish, because I stopped doing heroin and then a couple of years later I stopped drinking. And I wish I would have actually went into a treatment program because of the residual. Who was left after I got off drugs was this like broken shell of a human being who was like mad and sad and erratic and fucking also like a baby was on the way. My dad just died. My hair's falling out. And oh God, I'm 30. So it's like, it's like all this around sobriety. And so it was, I'm very thankful that I have sobriety, but it was something that, but looking back now, my sister she went through treatment program and she went to AA and it really helped her. And I was so against it for so long because of that whole higher power thing. And I'm just like, what are you fucking talking about? I was like, get this shit out of my face. And like, I remember she took me to an AA meeting and I stood up. I was like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic, but I don't want anybody to congratulate me that I stopped, because no one should be congratulated for not being a piece of shit. So, and that's what I said in front of a whole group of people. And, and they're just like, okay, buddy, you know, like, and they probably hear that shit all the time, you know, but it was that thing for me where like, it was just that time, like my wife was over it and I just had to move on, and I just quit cold turkey, white knuckled it. And, you know, throughout these last few years of you know, sobriety, in which I'm not sober, I smoke fucking hella weed, but like but through the abstinence of narcotics and alcohol, if I would have had some sort of direction and what to work on with myself, I think I would have been a lot better off, to where now it's been like 7-8 years and I'm just now reaching a place where I'm actually like stable-ish. And the final ingredient was drugs, fucking psych medications. Psych medications fucking helped me tremendously, and it's only been a few months, and so it took me almost till I was 40 to really start to get to a place of real recovery and real, like, becoming the person that I probably should have been, instead of trying to erase them with drugs and alcohol, you know, like I feel like my whole 20s was me just going, just you know, blurring through like all the depression and anxiety. And you're just like, fucking, I'm partying, and you think it's partying, but then you can't go out unless you're partying. You know, I can't go to the bar out being drunk. What kind of fucking madness is this?
Before I go to the bar.
Exactly, because I gotta save money for dope later, bitch. What is fucking thing? I bring my own liquor to the bar. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm doing whatever I gotta do, and that's just how it works. But you know,
you guys sound like you have parallel lives.
Well, you know, I mean, I think a lot of us do, right? Like, I think there's just a lot of stories like that. But I really do wish I would have got treatment, and that's one thing when people ask me about it. It's like, seek treatment however it works for you, whether it's NAA, whether it's talking to your fucking mom, whether it's fucking talking to your wife, whether it's talking to a professional, whatever the help is, but like, do seek help, because if you're this deep into something and where you don't have control over it, then what's left afterwards is not going to be an ideal place for you to be in, because you're going to always be in this sort of state of fucking what would you call it? Just a heightened state of anxiety. Like you just, like when you're first, especially when you're first coming off drugs, it's just everything. Like you were saying earlier, right? Like when you got out of prison, you're just fucking, it's like you're not even a real person. You're just in this like fucking daydream. You have no idea like where to even begin. And it's just, it's such a journey. but like having a little guidance doesn't help.
Is hard drug use is very much like a prison. It really is. You just can't seem to get out of it, you know, and it's just like, and it's just a never ending loop. Back to the question about what can you do to kind of quit. I'm piggybacking off both of you. I think for me personally, the biggest thing is what you guys both addressed, which is get help, but know that more now than ever, there are more options than ever, more different styles, more different types of recovery that might suit you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like one or that's it, you know? So I think that's really important because it can be very overwhelming to see, you know, not knowing what avenue, because like, yeah, I don't do NA now, but I certainly did it my first year of recovery. I needed that fellowship and like, I needed that kind of accountability.
Well, and seeing people and that there is like a way out. I think that's why like us just existing is important. And a lot of people don't get it. Like, they're like, I don't understand the big deal. Like broken robots. Like, why do you guys always talk about this stuff? You know, a lot of our, like some of our fans are like, you know, we don't even care anymore. And it's just like, but there are people out there who do need to hear repeatedly that like, you can be a shitty person and do shitty things and like, you know, do drugs and be homeless and like lose your way entirely and have to start over completely at the age of 25 or 36, you know, and you can still make it out okay within a few years. You know, I think it's important for people to know that. Like, we were literally working shitty jobs like 3 years ago. We literally lived in an Airbnb 6 years ago, you know, and now we have this whole setup. You know? You know, like,
yeah, and like that's the thing. It's like I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day. It's like starting over is not always a bad thing, and like I've done it so many times in my life now. And it's like starting over, like you and rebuilding is like, is a beautiful thing. And a lot of people hate to like think about that. Is like, you know, they have their routines, they have their lives set, and then they think about a big change or, you know, change in that routine or like, and it freaks people out. And I think starting over is one of those things that people just fear. Like no one wants to start at the bottom, even if if you put yourself there. And but I mean, I think like when you're dealing with these kind of things like addiction and trying to get your life together, it's like rebuilding is like the best thing you can do, you know. And when you're down in those pits and you're looking up and you're just like, how the fuck do you get out of here? It's just like, well, it's fucking one step at a time, motherfucker.
Yeah,
it's like,
it really is.
It's one piece of gear at a time. It's 1 minute at a time that you're staying away from drugs. It's like, it's one thing at a time, and you just take your time. Improve by 1% every fucking day. I think that's one of the best things I've ever heard is, and someone was talking about streaming. They were talking about streaming on Twitch. It's like improve your stream at least 1% every day. But I like the idea of improving yourself 1% every day because you're not putting this huge pressure on yourself to be like fucking Jesus or anything. You know, it's like you're just every day, I'm just going to try to do it better, or I'm going to try to fucking, just improve on this business I'm working on, or improve my stream, or improve my music abilities. It's just, you're just trying to do better every day. And that's how you dig yourself out of a hole, you know? It's just little small increments. Don't overwhelm yourself. But then again, people like me like to dive into things like head first. So like,
right to 11,
right to 11, motherfucker.
Yeah.
There's no in between, and that's the problem, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that what you guys did. So then when did the band come into play then? So, you know, you guys went through this big thing.
Yeah, I think Kat just went to grab some water.
No,
but yeah, no, we had that job. Where was I? Yeah, and then all right, so we got the apartment, and then yeah, Kat and I was kind of like planning on writing doing like some just simple indie rock stuff by myself. I have a couple songs that I did, but honestly, those worked out really well because I kind of got my chops back engineering, and because it's been a minute, you know, and I've been running Pro Tools for a long time. It was kind of like riding a bike.
Yeah.
So
You got to retune your ears, man.
What's that?
You got to retune your ears.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Yeah. All this stuff, the keyboard shortcuts, all the things, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so we started writing, I would say a few months after we had the whole setup. The first one we did was called Slow Motion, and it's on the first album. It was just a trippy acoustic thing. And we just started writing these songs because we noticed we got a lot of relief from it, and like gave us something to do. Because right around this time was probably like 6 months into our recovery. So you kind of start getting a little squirrely and thinking that you're cocky, or you're kind of cocky and thinking that, you know, so it's just kind of good for us to stay in the apartment and kind of remain humble and just write music. And then every time we'd have a song done, we put it on a SoundCloud and show everyone at work. And we were getting really pumped up. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know. You want to take it from there? I don't know. He's asking about how it started.
Oh, yeah. Well, at first, Tony and I were writing our own separate music. Yeah. And then, yeah, we started working on stuff together. And yeah, nothing was ever supposed to be like, this is our band and this is our concept. Like our first album is honestly just like the top 10 of all of the 30 some things that we were working on over the course of a year.
Okay.
We were estranged from our family. So we really didn't have anything else going on besides work and music. And we were just building the studio. And it was like, I was learning how Pro Tools worked. Tony was trying to get his chops back. And it was like very casual, that first album, just like writing. It was like almost like we were like catching up on lost time, like writing all the songs we wanted to write, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that first album, that's, you know, there's a laid backness to it. I think, and the lyrical content isn't meant to be taken super seriously. It's a lot of it is just train of thought lyrics. Some of it's just reflecting on things, you know. The sonics are all over the place. Some songs sound more electronic. Some songs are like reggae. Some songs are like emo.
You know, I was gonna ask you guys about that because you guys do seem to visit a lot of genres in your play. And by the way, Tony, your mixing skills are excellent. I really dig like how you really dive into like that East Coast hip hop feel and like especially with the drums and stuff. You guys can smoke on camera if you want, unless you're against that, but you guys are okay. Is that a pickle?
It's Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick.
Bowl.
And it's a bowl. Yeah. I can't smoke on stream because I'm in Ohio and it's no, you guys can because you guys are in a legal state. I can't because these are like, this is the stupidest shit about Twitch and stuff is that there's so many stupid fucking things. Like I love Twitch as a platform and like I spend way too much time on it as well. But it's like, yeah, you know what? Shut up behind the suit. Fucking Canadians with your fucking healthcare for everybody and fucking legal weed, whatever. Fucking, why don't you go speak French somewhere, okay? Mon ami. I'm just kidding. I love you, buddy. But yeah, it's just stupid. It's just a lot of dumb stuff. Like you can't say. I almost said it. You can't say. I'm not gonna
certain words.
You can't say certain words, which I don't mind, but the words are so stupid. Like it's not even a bad word. It's not even like it's not like calling, you know, the gays out of their name or something. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing bad like that. It's literally it sounds like shrimp, but not shrimp. And it means to provide money to people in hopes of getting something out in like sex or a relationship out of turn. In turn. So yeah, you can't say that, les gays. I'm sorry, I didn't mean, but I'm just saying, I was just trying to tell you guys that it's not like a terrible, no, you can say weed. You can say weed. You can't say, it sounds like shrimp. It sounds like shrimp, but it sounds like pimp, almost. It replaced the P with the S, and that's what I can't say. Which is,
wow.
Yes!
Really?
Yes! It's so...
I thought it was pimp.
No, it's not pimp. But
don't say it.
I can't say
it either, right?
My fucking someone just the other day my friend, which I don't even want to bring it up, but he said the fucking F word and it's not fuck. He said the F word, just being a fucking dick, and I was like, you asshole. And I deleted the VOD. He's like, I thought we were talking about freedom of speech, but it was like, just because we're talking about freedom of speech doesn't mean you got to go around fucking insulting people and being rude, motherfucker. You know, so it's like,
yeah, right.
There's a difference between, you know, speaking freely and then not fucking speaking like a cocksucker. You know, like you just.
Yeah. I'm glad that you can say cocksucker.
Yeah, but you can't say the other thing, which it's just insane. It's insane. The R word, yeah, yeah. I think he said the R word. Yeah, the R word's out too, and I think he said that too. Another reason why I fucking deleted the fucking VOD. Yeah, I mean, just because it's freedom of speech doesn't mean you gotta fucking have hate speech. And he was. I know what he was doing, and he's not a hateful person, and I know him personally. It's just that he was pushing the limits because he thought it was cute, and I'm like, this is how I'm making money, you asshole. Don't fuck this up for me. You fucking
language is... Yeah, you gotta be careful with stuff.
But it's a weird thing. And, you know, like your guys' music, you guys touch on social issues as well. You know, like I you know, like, can I show you guys a video real quick? Do you guys mind?
Yeah.
Let me show you guys some. You guys know who Roger Waters is at all?
Yes, that's the guy from Pink Floyd.
Yes, sir. So, and let me get you guys in here to monitor. Boom. And I'm going to make y'all look good. Hold on. Get you guys. Boom. So I've been going nuts on this video because I love it so much, because we're talking about, you know, Twitch and censorship and all kinds of, you know, like there's so much being blotted out. And I love this video with Roger Waters here. So let's watch this video real quick. Nope, that's you guys. Okay, here we go.
It's us.
This is something that I actually put in my folder when I came out here today. You have no idea what it is. Nobody does, because it arrived on the internet to me this morning. It's a request for the rights to use my song, Another Brick in the Wall 2, in the making of a film to promote Instagram. So it's a missive. It's a missive from Mark Zuckerberg to me, right? Arrived this morning with an offer of a huge, huge amount of money, and the answer is fuck you. Oh. No fucking way.
Awesome.
And I only mention that because this is an insidious, it's the insidious movement of them to take over absolutely everything, you know. So those of us who do have any power, and I do have a little bit, in terms of the control of the publishing of my songs, I do anyway. So I will not be a party to this bullshit, Zuckerberg. We want to thank you for considering this project. We feel that the core sentiment of this song is still so prevalent and necessary today, which speaks to how timeless a work is true. And yet they want to sojourn it. They want to use it to make Facebook and Instagram even bigger and more powerful than it already is, so that it can continue to censor all of us in this room and prevent this story about Julian Assange getting out to the general public, so the general public could go, what? What? No, no more, nada más. Zuckerberg features in my new rock and roll show. I've got him no, I shouldn't tell you. But he does. But you think, how did this little prick, who started off by saying, she's pretty, we'll give her a 4 out of 5. She's ugly, we'll give her a 1. How the did he get any power in anything? And yet here he is, one of the most powerful idiots in the world.
Fucking Roger Waters, once again, fucking just laying it down.
I love that. I love that he had a personal message from him, and that's so intense.
Yeah, a personal message from him, in like, oh, we fucking love your song and let me use your song. I fucking love that so much. But what he's saying, you know, about this sort of censorship, and in this particular instance, they were trying to do I don't know what it was for Julian Assange. But you know, like what he's trying to say is such a real thing, and it comes back to just controlling words and controlling what you can and can't say, and I don't know. How do you guys feel about the direction in censorship, and especially when you see artists getting targeted? You know, I try to keep it to the music. You know, like you remember when the Dixie Chicks got canceled because they went against George Bush and shit. And, you know, and things are happening like actors and musicians are getting canceled nowadays. What do you think of how sort of what social media has become, and how it affects sort of how you look at the world and how you express yourself in that context of you know, censorship and cancel in the world of being canceled and such?
So I've been arrested like 6 or 7 times in my life in real jail. And I have never been in Facebook jail. So I'm going to start off by saying that.
I've never been in Facebook jail.
I think that the internet is a rapidly evolving technology. And I think that we should be giving people a certain level of grace. I mean, I can't possibly be judgmental of people or cancel people because I literally have 3 felony convictions. So it's like, you know, I clearly, I believe in second and third and fourth chances. Like, people are raised differently, you know, and there's a certain level of what is acceptable socially that I do, to a certain extent, like fully agree with. I think that like political correctness can be important. And I think that censoring hate speech is important because making people feel unsafe is essentially the cause of fear, and fear is the cause of violence in every case. Like every time, you know, a violent outburst happens, it's out of fear in one way or another. And I think people using hate speech sometimes don't realize that they're evoking fear in other people when they're saying it. They don't realize that what the words that they're saying do cause deeply unsettling emotions in other people based on different people's personal experiences. So, I mean, I have such like, you know, an opinion on it where it's like, yes, I think it's important to a certain extent, but also like, we need to be careful with the internet, like, and making the internet and the real world the same, because they're not the same. And something that somebody says in text is not going to come across the same way as it would in person. There's people that have said horrible, horrible things to me on the internet that they wouldn't dare say to my face.
Right.
Because people are trolls, especially this year, you know, like, and it's like, but I think censorship on the internet, it's like, it's still a process. I don't agree with cancel culture necessarily. But it's also like, it depends, like, what kind of person are you painting yourself out to be? If you're like the social justice person, like that's who you are. And then it turns out that like all the stuff that you're doing is like not perfect, like you act like you are, then yeah, you need to be called out, because you're putting yourself on a pedestal of perfection and telling people that they need to behave like you, and you're not taking your own advice, you know? I think everybody just needs to be more humble. Like we need to stop like running around like being the moral police, and instead we should like gently call each other in and be like, hey, you know, like this is probably not cool to say, you know, and just try to be a little bit like, everybody just needs, you know, I'm very much kind of a hippie on this world peace. Like everybody should love a little bit more, because we're all the same. Like it's, you know, I grew up in like a rural suburb of Illinois, and I've spent many a days in the west side of Chicago. And I can tell you from like very different areas, like everybody's just got fears. And if we all just stop being afraid of each other and start like asking more questions and starting to believe that there's like good in everybody, instead of looking for the problems that everybody else has, and how we're better than other people, or how like, you know, how we need to like instead of focusing on that, if we focus more on just understanding each other, I think that would be better.
Yeah,
I think
I'm on board with that.
Personally, I think cancel culture is it's just overused. I think it's missing its mark because it's being applied to like very petty things. I think cancel culture is great for certain types of things that, you know, someone's an admitted rapist or pedophile. Yes. I think cancel culture is great.
Yeah, fuck Bill Cosby. Cancel fucking Bill Cosby.
It's just, you know, I think the, you know, time and a place. It's same with, you know, a lot of vocabulary, but I think it's important. I think you have to reach a level of wherewithal or intelligence to understand that the internet itself is a third party. It's, you know, like a plugin when you're using, when you're like engineering something. I know this is kind of techie, but like,
no, that's cool.
You know, like I'll reach for a plugin, which is an effect. It's like, but if it's like a third party thing, I have to reach outside the computer to get it, to access it. And it has its benefits. And then sometimes it's a horrible idea, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, but we're falling into this thing where the internet is everything.
Right.
And it has to be, it's a tool. It's something, you know, and now that being said, I'm completely addicted to it. It is the worst drug I have ever experienced. I am attached to, I feel lonely without my fucking phone.
Bro.
Like, yeah, this is the first step, is me acknowledging it, because I'm starting to really realize, like, I'm no serious. Though, like,
I know.
But and it's hard because I live in kind of like a digital world, you know, like I'm trying to be an artist, you know, that's independent. So it's like, I don't have, what other universe am I going to put my shit in?
Yeah, I mean, it's digital social commentary too. So a lot of what we do. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, I mean, I'm sure the hypocrisy is super thick on my end here, but it's like, because I do acknowledge it, and it's like, you have to understand that everything on the internet's not true.
Yeah.
You can't, and I'm the worst at that. And it's like, but yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man, because it's not going anywhere. So I don't know. I don't think it's a matter of buffering it or something, because it's a matter of like acknowledging it for what it actually is. Right. I think that's what we approach.
Yeah, and I think that there are some benefits in the way that like people are, you know, are being more mindful, right? Like it forces people, which I don't like the idea of force, but like it does sort of force people to be a little bit more mindful about what's coming out of their stupid faces. And, you know, like there's nothing wrong with educating yourself about the people and you're fucking around you. And that's fine and dandy, but it's like, but I think it gets dangerous when it's who's controlling what can be said and can't be said. And I think the best example we have of that is this whole lab leak thing, right? Like last year, if anybody put lab leak on YouTube video or on Facebook or anything like that, it was immediately removed. And it's because Facebook and they act as arbiters of truth. And I get what you're saying behind that, Sue. People act like it's their home. It's like they're at home and they can just say whatever they want. But I do think it is more, and you said it's more like being in a park, in a public space. And even though it's owned by, so we're so dependent on these apps. We're dependent on Google, and they are controlling what information gets to us. So again, going back to this lab leak theory, they equated it to being racist against Asians. And then fucking fast forward 6 or 7 months, now it's one of the main theories of what happened. I mean, there's so much evidence pointing to it. And what's dangerous about it is that we could have known about this last year. We could have started working towards something that could prevent the next pandemic because of this gain of function research. Instead, they said it was racist to even mention it. And if you even put anything online about it, it was taken down immediately. So the danger lies in who's deciding what's real and what's not. And I get it. I don't think people should be allowed to just say the N-word on Facebook and that's fine. I get it. But there has to be some sort of clear moderation. There has to be some sort of clear rules, because it's at this point, it's like at any time for any reason, we can just take you down and we don't give a fuck what's going on. And you don't get a say in court. You don't get shit. And when it turns out that this information that you labeled as misinformation, medical misinformation, turns out that it's really possibly looking like it's the truth, I think that there's a huge danger in that. And you can apply that across the board to, racism and all this shit and gender, all of that shit. It gets very... it gets really dangerous when you just have certain people making decisions about what can be said and what can't be said. And it just, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gets a little wonky out there. And I know Behind That Suit has a lot to say about this. Obviously, freedom of speech, as you have it, doesn't exist here in America. Entered the rest of the world in this context, and the internet is not the USA. I frankly don't support the degree of freedom of speech you have on some Canadian culture norms. Like every other country has kind of censorship. Yeah, but that's why the Canadian dollar is fucking sucks right now. That's why America's dollar is better than yours. I'm just kidding. That was a stupid.
I don't think is our dollar worth anything.
No, it's on its way out.
Okay.
Bitcoin is. We're gonna start joining the ranks of what South American country just adopted Bitcoin as their main source of currency. It's like not Argentina. It's Venezuela, not Venezuela. Anyways, we might as well. The pound beats yours. They have censorship. Look. I'm a firm believer as an artist that we should be able to express ourselves. And it's really sad. I had this conversation with an artist who was on the show, and we were talking about things like this. And she was like, oh my God, I was so happy that we were able to talk about it because I don't feel like I ever get a chance to talk about this on what I do because I'm afraid to drive people away. And I get that. And it's like, well, shit, like as an artist, we fear expression. And that there's just something weird and wonky about that. I don't know. How does this fall on your guys' ears? I've been just rattling off all this shit. Please.
I mean, personally, I don't. Whenever it starts to lean into politics, I just shut down because
I understand.
Yeah, I just got off the streets just a handful of years ago. Like anyone that wants to know anything about what I think politically should really be concerned about why they want to know what I think politically because I don't even know who the fucking president was.
Yeah, but as an artist and as someone who expresses himself and as someone who comments on the culture that you participate in, don't you think you do actually have some opinions about this?
I know how I can only talk from my own experience.
Of course.
And I feel like that comes through a lot of times because like, there's no doubt that I have felt kind of bullied by things on the internet and kind of like I've had to like think twice about things when I normally wouldn't. There's dynamic shifts, but I mean, as far as like as censorship goes, like that's what I was talking about earlier about wherewithal and intelligence and kind of understanding that it's a third party. And I feel like I've seen all the same things you were talking about happen, but I don't understand why if I reaffirm it for the fourth time how that's going to change anything is in these conversations about it. Like I'm talking about wherewithal, like yeah, it's happening, it's definitely happening. Like I don't understand what they're, because if I talk about it anymore, then it always seems to get political. It always seems to like pull things out that I feel like initially aren't that have anything to do with the topic. I think there's definite censorship happening. I think I acknowledged it over a year ago. It scares me. I do not believe in censorship. As far as like someone controlling the information that I get, I feel like that's always been the case, but now it's just more that dynamic is more transparent now because I feel like we just all went through something pretty traumatic as an entire world. And so I think a lot of people that may not have the same political opinions can come together and agree about a lot of things. And I'm really hoping that happens because when you get outside of the politics and you realize that there are some really scary people controlling some stuff, yeah, that's a conversation to have. But once it goes back into politics, it's really hard for me to talk. So I don't know if I answered your question or anything.
The identity politics thing definitely is part of the issue. There's so many layers to this with the censorship and everything. I know that some of these arguments online, they escalate. They like negatively impacted people's lives to the point where they're getting fired, the point where they're like losing things in their life. And, that's one reason to have censorship is to prevent divisive behaviors and general hostility, because I'm sure the lawsuits from having people kill people that they got mad at over social media is like probably pretty nasty for companies like big tech. Is there a sinister vibe about the fact that they have control to just take down whatever they feel is necessary? There can be, if you look at it that way. You know, I personally don't feel comfortable having every conversation on social media. I don't really like everybody to know exactly who I am. And I found that I can have very deep conversations with people who are very different from me in a setting that is comfortable and where everybody feels safe and where the gloves are off. You know, on social media, it's just the internet. Like, you don't know what people are going through on the internet. The internet is a place for lonely people. It's a place for hungry people. It's a place for people who can't sleep and people who have things they're trying not to think about. So I think that mental illness is a huge factor at play in all of this. You know, if I'd like to think that the world is a good place, I can say that. I definitely went through a phase in time where I was like, this is weird that they're censoring so much. But, you know, I don't know. I guess I don't have a feeling strongly about it one way or the other. It just makes me sad, everything that I saw this year. Like, I spent too much time on the internet and I saw too much. I saw too much of people just being nasty to each other. And I heard people say things to each other and about people that I would have never expected. Like, people that I had great respect for talking about like how much they want a specific person to like die horribly in some like horrible way. And like, or like just like say like nasty thing. Like, it's just like it changes the way you see people when you start like, you know, seeing that like that part of them that's just like, it's just hateful, and you know it's misdirected too. Like, you know, the reason they're really saying that doesn't actually have anything to do with what they're talking about. It has everything to do with the bad thing that happened to them earlier this week. Yeah. The amount of stress that they're under because they haven't got a paycheck in however long because the government didn't get them their unemployment time or their identity got stolen or something. You know, like lots of bad things happened this year. And a lot of people went a little bit off the deep end, myself included.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to quit smoking this year. I mean, it was a long time coming. I've been smoking since I was 14 years old. But this year, I mean, it got to a point where the cigarettes were taking over my life. It was like a hard drug. Like, I was smoking so much. It was affecting my skin, my singing. I couldn't really sing anymore. Like, it was like I started getting like TMJ, and I had to get multiple teeth removed, and I had to get like a fake tooth put in, like from just the stress of all of it, like the mental illness that I was dealing with this year, and the constant stressors that I was dealing with, and the fear of other people, and just like absorbing all this hate and everything. And like, to a certain degree, like I have reached like a point of where like I am a little bit like, yeah, like if people get shitty at each other, like kick them off the internet, like make them get off so they can go get help. Cause that if you are at a point where you're, you know, you're like going down like rabbit holes. Cause that's the thing too. Like, people need to be more self-aware. Like, honestly, I find I have a pretty high IQ, you know, I have 136 IQ. That's like relatively high, but I also have to understand that I dropped out of high school with a .006 GPA, my junior year, and I never even passed a math class. So to a certain degree, like, do I have the right to be publishing online what I think is going on in the world? Like, is it really good? Because there are people who are going to listen to me and take me seriously. And there are people out there who respect me. And as a public figure, I need to understand that, even though I'm not like a huge artist or a super well-known person, I think it's very important to a certain degree to like know what is my place to tell people and what isn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, it's like what's the point? It's like why and like what Tony was saying, like, you know, us talking about it, is it going to make a difference? And to that I say yes, because the more people that talk about this shit and the more people that are aware of what's going on, I think the more that people start to listen. Because I mean, look at what happens when people all do start like these pylons. Companies change their whole the whole way they operate because 20 people on Twitter said that they are racist. So I think that if we could pile enough people on and and have people be pissed off enough, that we could fucking turn this in a new direction to where we do get, I don't know, get the internet that we want and that we had. Like, I would love to have the internet a la fucking 2013. Like, that shit was tight. It was the Wild fucking West still. You know, and like, again, I'm not advocating for people to say horrible, hateful things on Facebook, which they already do anyways. But there's just so much hypocrisy to all this. And there's just so much just deep down, dirty, down low bullshit that's happening. And it fucking pisses me off. So yes, I do think that it is important that we talk about these things in a public forum because people actually do feel like this. I'm not the only one who feels this way. And I know behind that suit is like, hey, fucking, you fuck freedom of speech. I'm Canadian. I love you, Holden. But it's still fucking, it's something that I think is worth fighting for. And I think that we need to have these open discussions and be able to talk about these things and call each other out and call each other on this bullshit and cancel the people that do need to be canceled. Not because they fucking were in blackface for Halloween back in 2006. That's fucking... You know, like, no, not because of that. It's like because they're a rapist and they were fucking awful and they're terrorists or they're this or that. It's funny that Facebook will take down Donald Trump, but allow China to fucking talk about how happy the Uyghur slaves are fucking picking cotton. It's fucked up. What kind of fucking moderation is that? What is that? That doesn't even make sense. And look, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Get him out of here. But the fact that you're going to take down Donald Trump and allow the Chinese government to fucking be happy about fucking, they put their propaganda about fucking their slaves picking their cotton. Like, they're happy to be, what was it? It was like the Uyghur women are happy to be, sterilized. They're advocating because the Uyghur women love to be sterilized because they don't want to get pregnant out there in the cotton fields as slaves. So, you know, yeah, I do think it is pretty important for us to talk about it. But I can understand whereas you guys as artists don't feel like why should I talk about it? And I get it. And I appreciate you guys participating.
I mean, I don't want to spread myself too thin because I have what I know, mm-hmm. For instance, prison reform. I'd love to talk about that. I was in prison.
Reform. Yeah,
I absolutely saw what everybody's talking about mm-hmm. when they talk about the prison industrial complex. I get it. I totally understand. I understand it more now than I ever have.
I bet.
And that's something I could go really hard and talk about for a while. It's just when it's general stuff. Like I can't do it.
No, yeah. I think taking a stance in general. Yeah, it's like it's murky waters now because there's so much, like you said, identity politics now where it's like people want to like put you in a box too when you talk about stuff publicly. So you have to be like somewhat careful because it's like I don't like subscribe specifically to all these viewpoints or all these viewpoints, and I don't identify as this or that specifically. Like I'm just a person with thoughts, and I'm kind of trying to figure it out my own way. So it's like, you know. There's just, it's the whole thing has gotten very weird. I like that we can say things in our music. You know, if you listen to our most recent release, our EP, there's a song called Mockingbird on there. You played the
11001101. I love that song, by the way. And like, I even wrote that down because I wanted to talk about that because of the subject matter of that song. I'm sorry, please finish what you were saying. I just got excited that I knew a song.
Oh yeah. No, the subject matter of that song is, it's a lot. It was written over the course of a couple of years, actually. Mm-hmm. That song it's about the internet. It's about censorship. It's about posturing. It's about so much. Mm-hmm. And it's funny. I am basking in the fact that it has aged like a fine wine. We released it a year ago, and the lyrics, biochemical contagion, it's their fault and we should blame them, still apply to the headlines today because it's the same kind of clickbait, crazy headlines like going on where it's just like this cyclical thing, you know. Because I remember when the right was talking about all this stuff, because I saw that news. So, you know, they weren't censoring too much for me because I saw that, and I'm generally liberal swinging in my past political endeavors, you know. So, but I did, you know, I read all of it. I read everything because I was intrigued. I'm like, what's going on here? Why does everybody have such a different perspective of reality? And how come these people all seem to have the same perspective, and these people all have the same perspective, and these people all have the same perspective, but it's all completely different.
Yes.
And, you know, we got really into like really trying to like figure out what was going, like what the malfunction was, you know, over this past whole thing, you know, as much as being in Chicago and there was riots and protests and everything, and we listened to the police scanners and everything like in real time. We sat there all night and listened. And it's just, you know, getting the perspective on everything. And it's just like, everything is just, it's all wacky. Like everybody's just trying to make money on these news articles and everything now, where it's like, you know, everybody, Fox News and CNN on all the sides, every side is doing it. It doesn't matter. It's like, there's very few news sources that you can trust is actually going to tell you things straight, versus like being like, you know, this big thing is going on and it's an emergency that you should know right now. Like, you know, and it's like, I feel like, yeah, like this biochemical contagion thing, like it happened then, it happened here now, whatever. Like, let's just, like, I wish people would just start talking more about information and less about inserting their opinions on things. You know, that's maybe where my little headstrong opinion on all this stuff goes. Cause I got really lost this past year. You know, I started going down paths that didn't make any logical sense because I thought they did, because I was getting information from this. And it turns out that this information was all wrong and made up and just no sourceable information. I just like, you know, all of it. And then, social media, people posting about stuff that they don't even know what they're talking about because they want to like appear a certain way, or they want to like, you know, and it ends up getting all mixed up in people who are actually trying to do stuff. And I don't know, man, but that song was like, it was cool to do because it was like finally a release of this like over information, like internet culture, like extreme thing that was going on. And we were able to talk about it in a way that I think was pretty down the middle. You know, we didn't really want to take a stance either way.
But and you know what, and I respect that, and I can respect Tony's you know, because from Tony's perspective is like, I've said all this shit through my music, why would I say it again? You know, like you guys express yourself, this is how you guys express yourself at your best, you know, and I get that from artists who are like, look, we talk about this shit all the time, it's just this is how we talk about it, and I can respect that. I'm actually gonna play
Hi,
oh my god, I'm sorry everyone, that was awful, everyone, sorry about that. I'm gonna play the live Mockingbird underneath us while we talk here, just so you guys. Dex, thank you so much for that sub. You know what, I gotta catch up, you guys. Mighty, you have gifted some subs, so let me get you going. There you go, Mighty, there's Mighty. Dex, you're going right here, baby. It's hot tub. It's a hot tub stream, so you know you're right here, Dex. Hold on, let's jam this for a second. Thank you, Dex, for that sub. Thank you, Mighty, for subbing Leon Lounge, Jay Bartholomew, and Kosi. I appreciate that. All right, let's turn this down a little. Anyways, I just wanted to show a little. Thank you, Dex. There you go. Hot tub stream. It's a party. So I'm going to actually stop this because I'm realizing how much I'm going to just start listening to the lyrics and not listening to what you guys are saying. So let's for this last conversation we just had, we are getting, oh, damn. There it is. Canceled. That was stupid. That was great. So stupid. So if I sub, I get a song. Yes, Leon Lounge, for Cypher Deluxe, I'll do a song for you. But that's after we're done talking to our friends. We should probably talk about the Escape Artist, by the way, since we're here. That's the new EP that is out from our friends here, Broken Robots. And again, let me throw your guys' links up in the the chat here. Also, anybody on the audio end, all the links are in the show notes. Sad Boy Summer. No, I'm going to work on Sad Boy Summer, Cartagena. That's something I'll have to do over the next couple weeks because I got a busy couple weeks coming up. So I am going to do Sad Boy Summer. Talanya, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Welcome in. Can we get a shout out for Talanya, please? Anyways, so Talanya, hope you're doing well. We're having a hot tub stream here. I would do it shirtless in my bikini, but it's at the cleaners. But I am doing subs on my arms, so there you go. We're still continuing the journey. There you go. Anyways, so tell me about Escape Artist. That's a very fitting name for a couple people who've been incarcerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about the album. Tell me about the EP. I'd love to hear about it. Love the production, by the way. Production is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we do everything. We had mastering engineer Matt Leffler-Shulman. He does some really cool stuff. He also does he's done some Ice Cube music and stuff. Oh, nice. So that's cool. But we had the mastering engineer do mastering, but we did everything else. Tony has been engineering forever. It's his greatest passion. He's a perfectionist. So that's really, most of the production notes come from him. I'm the one who's got like kind of the East Coast rap influence, and I do some of the sampling on our stuff.
I love that. I do love that, and I hope you don't take this wrong, but like sometimes your cadence reminds me of Blondie. I don't know if Rapture. Like I get Blondie vibes sometimes. But I do dig that. I do dig that the sound. And you said sample. What do you guys sample? Where are you guys pulling from?
Our own stuff.
Oh, okay. So you just like will record a drum beat and then resample it and flip it.
Well,
and
we'll
stuff
take like a melody that we've like created, and then a lot of times like she'll sample it. Like she'll basically like
one time I took a broken accordion that one of our coworkers at the time had let us borrow, and we like recorded doing some weird stuff to it, and then like ended up reversing it and then stretching it out and pitching it down and adding like a fake trumpet to it, so
That's
yeah,
dope.
we use like a couple different plugins that are sound banks. Expand. I'm sure people are aware of that. Probably Tony doesn't want me telling people that we use Expand, but we do use that sometimes.
Why? At one time, I wouldn't want you to. Now it's kind of a flex.
Why though? Why wouldn't you want people?
It's archaic. It's just archaic.
It's just old.
It's just old.
Yeah. Like Waves. I feel like Waves is getting left behind right now too. I don't know if
Waves. Yeah. I mean, I got a bunch of Waves plugs. They're nice and cheap.
Yeah.
They do the job.
Yeah. They do the job. All my shit was stolen anyways. I was just whatever. I had
that stinks.
Oh no, not like that. I stole all the software because I'm an asshole.
Oh
no, not all my stuff was stolen.
And I was gonna say I can relate, but I can't relate.
Right, yes.
I never had pirated software ever.
Exactly.
We don't believe in that.
Ever.
Allegedly.
We're good people.
Ever.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Ever.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, but anyways, you guys like to sample your own melodies and sort of flip stuff, and I love it, like the drums. I really like your guys' drum sounds. I really like your bass. Like the bass always sounds like I fucking Talanya. Oh, I see. Leon Lounge, thank you so much for gifting Talanya that gifted sub. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Fresh Fam. I never got to do this for you guys, so here's this for you guys for those subs, by the way.
Hello and welcome to We Speak English Good TV. I'm your announcer, Seth Rogen. Now everyone put your doobies in the air or your hands together, whichever you prefer, for your host, Mike EP. Yay!
Thank you, Seth. I appreciate that. Yeah. So what? You guys. I said earlier, like how you guys sort of your genres sort of jump around a lot. and you know, like from hip hop to pop rock to, you know, to reggae apparently. So have you guys found that this is impeded in like growing as a brand? And I hate to use those words, I'm sorry, but like growing your band, growing notoriety, has having these like multi-genres all in one thing, has that hindered you guys in any way in moving forward as a band?
So it's actually cool that you say that, because we were just having this discussion the other day, Tony and I. We were talking about conceptual stuff and music and what we're going to do next and what we've learned and all that stuff. And you know, there is something cool about the fact that the Escape Artist has a video for every song.
That is cool, by the way.
And every song is its own universe. And you know, nothing's quite the same, but they're all kind of tied, you know, like they're all like, we went really hard on production for all of it. Like we went, you know, and it takes a long time to do things like this. So one song could take 3 to 6 months to finish. I mean, we've had songs in the works for like multiple years.
Wow.
And definitely does slow, I think, you know. So we might be experimenting with our writing process. We've been experimenting with me on drums and Tony on guitar and Lonnie on bass, and that kind of helps us do like riff stuff. But we're gonna go even further than that and maybe try to write a little bit more organized in the near future. But I mean, I don't really, you know, regret it. I think it's led us to where we are now. We've got this really cool sound and we're kind of going in this direction, you know.
What do you mean organized? What do you mean organized? What do you mean by that? When you want to go forward, you want to write a little bit more organized.
Like,
were you not organized,
you know,
when you were writing before?
Anybody who knows Tony and I knows that like organized is not really our thing.
I guess.
We're like chaotic neutral energy, you know, like that's like what we are.
Chaotic.
We're trying to reel it in though.
You're trying to reel it in.
We would like one organized.
I see.
Yeah.
So is this just the way?
Yeah, we're trying to reel.
Is this just the way things come out, or is this a like this multi-genre? Is this just the way things sort of form for you guys, or is this a concerted effort to sort of just be, you know, everywhere?
It's natural for us to just make a song, and you know, we have like multiple projects that are in the works at any given time, and a project being a song, you know, and we'll have, you know, a lot of the times half the song written, and maybe we'll go back in and we'll start really vibing on it and we'll just finish it.
I mean,
and you know, it's very flow, like there's no organization to it really.
No, we have such different influences, even, you know, because with our ages too, we have different points of reference as far as what's good, you know. And so you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
I
do. So I feel like it does kind of come naturally. But here's the thing: I've been in other bands. I've been in a pop punk band, so like I know what marks to hit when I used to play in bands like that. Like the goal was to fit in this cookie cut. Like you would have a feeling when I would play with these kind of bands, like you would know when you were hitting the mark. Like this is it. This is the fucking genre. We're nailing it.
Right.
Now, when we do, like when we write, the moment we feel like we're really falling hard into a genre, we get the hell out. Like we don't keep pushing it and say, yeah, this is good. Like, well, we get in and then we don't want to go too far. So we kind of have governors, I think, in our brains when we think it's going a little too far on something. And it's like, well, if we go any further, it's just going to be this kind of song. We don't really want to do that. So there's definitely some kind of effort going on, but it's kind of unspoken.
Yeah. It's more about the vibe of the songs as it is, but we are going to try to maybe we'll try doing something more conceptual down the road. You know, I mean, this is conceptual, but it's just, you know, it's going through life over the course of a year and a half. We wrote those songs over the course of a year and a half for the Escape Artists, all 5 of them. and every single one of them is related to mental illness. A lot of the songs are written in like an introspective type of way, where it's processing things and you know, in that way it is a conceptual piece, but we could go even further. Maybe we'll go even artsier than that. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe we have a super artsy music video in the works right now. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
No.
Well, I do like that. I that's really interesting. So then it hasn't really hindered like growth for the band or like booking gigs or like, you know, because I imagined that. Yeah, so just the opposite. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like, because sometimes when you get, like, Dean's a good example. Dean's band, I don't know if you guys are aware of Dean's band, Rover, but
yeah.
like when I see them playing around Toledo, a lot of times they get lumped up with hip hop shows, you know, because Dean raps sometimes. So he ends up, you know, you get like a bunch of people who are rapping over, they're doing, you know, hip hop karaoke, and then here comes Dean and the drummer just going, ah! And then rapping, scream rapping. And that's actually how I met Dean. You know, so you know, I was thinking in those terms as well. So have you had any trouble like pairing with other bands around town or anything like that, getting booked?
I think like the most unlikely acts are the ones that we connect with the most, and they're all different genres. I think that's a cool thing. We don't really fit particularly in anything. Like, I think at first the scene kind of like put us, like, we kept getting booked with like indie female fronted acts, and it kind of worked. And then we started getting booked with like, you know, punk bands, and that kind of worked. And then we got booked with electronic bands, and that kind of worked. Like, everything kind of works. Like, right. So what we've ended up doing is we've kind of like, now there's like, we have our own scene kind of surrounding us, and we have a lot of different acts from different parts of the scene that we work with that kind of come together. You know, like we're going to be doing some stuff with some rap features coming up.
Oh, dope.
From local acts that we're really, really, really big fans of as rappers, like some of our top favorite local rappers we got to work with on some stuff, including, actually, now that you bring up Rover, including one of their tracks. We got to remix that, and we got a rap feature on one of those. So
oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. But I think we all like in the Venn diagram of all the music that we like. When Tony's got his taste in music, I've got my taste in music, Lonnie's got his taste in music. Like, we do all kind of meet in the middle on, you know, certain types of alternative and certain types of hip hop and certain types of electronics. So I think that's really like we've kind of figured out as a band, like what we all really like what it is, like how we can get like every one of us individually into these songs, you know, that's we're all very in control of our own stuff too. You know, like Lonnie is very like big on his bass tone, his like bass sound, like how he's going to play this for this song and what he's going to use. Like, he's very involved in that. That's all his call, you know, and at the end of the day, it's a democracy. So if Tony and I really hate it, then we can be like, all right, can you like do this a little bit or whatever? But honestly, most of the time Lonnie just nails it, like on the bass tones, and like that's his world. You know, he does keys a lot of the time too. Sometimes he'll come up with like a basic drum beats and stuff. And he's got his own DAW that he operates out of, and he sends us cuts, and he's over here a couple times a week, and you know, we're all just very involved in writing that way. But yeah, Lonnie holds it down with the bass, and Tony does guitars. He does a lot of drums. He does a lot of percussion stuff.
When you guys are doing like live gigs and stuff, you guys have a lot of like backing tracks? Do you bring like your laptop or something, or do you have a live setup?
We have tracks. We don't have a live drummer at this time. It's not something completely out of the question. We're kind of like, when we find the right person, we'll find them. We're not like outward looking for it. We use tracks. Tony mixes the tracks. They sound pretty good usually wherever we go. Yeah. You know, some people are like, you guys would sound better with a drummer, and we're like, cool.
Yeah, and you'd sound better like somewhere else and not in front of me right now. That's how I
usually
usually react.
When are you guys playing?
Yeah.
When's your band playing? Cool.
Your band's gonna be on the radio this week.
Like, Leon Lounge is throwing his dick around. I know Harry Mack. Holler at your boy. So there you go, guys. If you want a plug right into Harry Mack, hook up with the Leon Lounge, and there you go. I can't speak for Harry himself, but Leon can. Just kidding. I don't know. You guys are actually playing in Toledo, July 16th. Hold on, I put it up for everybody. Boom! There it is. There it is, everybody.
Is it there? Oh, good.
You were invited.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're invited, folks. Well, anybody. I don't think anybody really is in Toledo here. This is all over the world, so nobody in Toledo watches this live stream. But I will definitely be helping and promoting this from my end. And this is Broken Robots live at the 6010, and it's free. It's a free show. Cookout provided, and cookout. So there's food and everything. So,
that's so great.
Oh, there is people local here. I'm such an asshole. There are people local here. Never mind.
It's like in a field. It's cool. I think we're gonna play inside this time.
Oh,
last year we played in the cul-de-sac, and then we blew up the generator because we're so rock and roll.
Because you're so fucking hard. I love that. It sounds like Woodstock. I do a decent size dick. Oh, there you go. Throw it around, Jesse. Throw it around. Let the folks see it. Anyways, so the Escape Artist is out now. You guys can definitely go listen to that. You guys should definitely stream it. It's right here.
It's really good. It's a really good EP.
I agree.
We listen to it.
What is
we straight up just listen to our own music. We don't care.
My wife is the same way. My wife is the same way. Me too, though. I listen to my own shit a lot just because. Well, I think that there's something to be learned from it. I know you guys are joking. I get it. But there is something to listening to your music and learning from what you've done. I've learned, I've recorded something 5 years ago and been and just listened back to it just, on a whim. And then all of a sudden be like, oh shit, this could come back. This could be something else, So there is something to listening to your own music, just picking up on certain techniques that you did. Learning. We're always learning, but it also seems kind of icky when you admit that you're just sitting there jamming your own music, right? I mean,
I'm not lying though.
I don't care. We're literally
me too. I'm not lying.
We're I told you, we did a rap feature with somebody. We have a CD in the car, and I'm just driving through the neighborhood.
Just
and I'm
bumping
it.
Fuck yes. Look, if you're not bumping your own music,
I think I'm awesome.
Fuck yes. Oh my God, that's loud. Sorry, guys. That was rude. There we go.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
Well, I've had a wonderful time chatting with you guys. I think that you guys were lovely for participating, and I know. Hey, no problem, Epilid. You guys have a good day, guy. I really appreciate that. Is there anybody here who wants to do Cypher Deluxe? Is there any Cypher Deluxes? I'm gonna play Jesse a song, and I think, and you guys are free to go if you'd like to go. We're gonna do Cypher Deluxe. If anyone is interested, if you guys are interested in participating as well, you could. Oh, Behind the Suit's gonna do it. Behind that suit. So if you guys are interested in spitting some hot bars or playing a song, you're more than welcome to join us. If you guys got to go, you're more than welcome to leave. If you guys want to hang out and watch me and Holden perform a tune or two, you're more than welcome for that too. So however you guys want to do it. So I'll leave it up to you. But we are going to switch over to Cypher Deluxe, my friends, and we'll be RB. So give us a few seconds here. And what do you guys want to do? Did you guys have something to do, or did you want to stick around? Sorry to put you on the spot. This is always so. It's
totally up to you.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
It's up to you. Hey, how about we'll stick around for like 5 minutes or so? But
sounds good. If you guys gotta go, you guys gotta go. Sounds good. So we're gonna be right back. I'm gonna set up for Cypher Deluxe. Anybody who is interested in performing on Cypher Deluxe, come through. Here is the link to the Discord. Jump in the Discord. Go into the Cypher Deluxe text channel and jump in. And when I come back, we'll have a beat ready to go, and we'll get to it. And then Jesse, I will just do a live loop for you after Holden does his thing, and we'll just, it'll be quick though. It'll be quick. It's gonna be a quick one. All right, guys. We'll BRB after this.
Didn't get to sleep last night till the morning came around. Said I'll run, but I take my time. A friend of the devil, a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Ran into the devil, baby, loaned me 20 bills. Spent the night in Utah in a cave up in the hills. Said I'll run, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Took my $20 bill, vanished in the air. Said I'll run, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. If I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. Got 2 reasons why I cry away each lonely night. First one's named Sweet Anne Marie. She's my heart's delight. Second one is Prison Babe. She's on my train.
All right. Shut up, Jason. All right. There we go. Anyways, everybody, that is Jason, and I will be doing that, but without Zach attacks. So, we're going to be doing more of whatever that was. So enjoy that. Enjoy Beans. What's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. All right, guys. It's Cypher Deluxe, and Holden is up first. Holden, holla if you hear me. Oh, I got to get in there first, too. God damn it. I'm such an idiot. There we go. I'm in there. All right, Holden, whenever you're ready, buddy. It's a great day to lurk in multiple streams. That's right. Thank you so much for that, Lurk.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Super cool.
How you doing, buddy?
Yo, super great. Apparently, according to the one English media site that does this in Montreal, we the 10th best podcast in the city. It doesn't count for anything, but it's still the only accolade like that in English.
Goddamn right. You're goddamn right, Holden. Everyone behind that suit is a podcast, and if you're a fan of this show and of music podcasts, you're gonna like Holden's. Holden goes way deeper, and he just goes deep, baby. And he constantly smokes weed, which I'm a fan of. So, yeah, it's the best.
Do that, yeah.
It's the best of all worlds here. So, Holden, how are things going? I mean, how is that?
Not really, like. Everything's going good. I'm doing these off the dome mixtapes now, so it's just like banging out music, working on albums, working on everything.
Damn.
Just working a lot. If anything, that might be problematic a little bit, but like when you're on those like creative vibes where it's just like, yo, started going, what if like when you get that creative, like that comes and you got to capitalize on it.
Hell
you can't
yeah.
like
Absolutely.
Just do as much as you can, bank as much as you can, and then you're good.
Yeah, dude, I can't disagree with that at all. Okay, well, shit, I'm gonna let Holden fucking rock this shit because I know Holden's got some shit to say. So let's get into it. This beat comes, I think this is just a free beat I found on SoundCloud. So it's nobody featured today, just whatever this guy's name is, royalty free beats or something. So
Get it, royalty free beats without royalties.
let's go. All right, let's see. Tell me if it's too loud for you, Holden.
Nah, it's all good. I hear that. So, yo, what's up, everybody? I'm just real excited to be up here, being able to practice a little bit. See me? I'ma go live at that twitch.tv/behind that suit and go ahead and rap a few songs out the dome like this. Is basically like this, except a little more focused. I'll come up with a hook, attach the song together like this. I'm on my fucking creative just cause I be practicing the daily, putting effort in like I'm a guitarist, Jimi Hendrix, playing some shit up in the bathroom. Basically, I use my voice like all the time, like all the motherfucking time. Like repetition is wilder if you can repeat a line. Like I said, repetition is wilder if you can repeat a line. I said repetition is wild enough when you can repeat a line with a lot of style, make it real nice. Like a lot of people so focused on the technique of this shit that they lost the soul and the passion that make the music. Like I do this cause it's me, I live to do this. It ain't about no capitalist product or anything. I grew to this fuckers, I set trends, y'all follow me. That's how this go. My taste better than y'all, so I set the way that this go. I don't really care, I state my opinions, put it on wax. Argue with me, I need the haters. It's how you build up the fans. Motherfuckers defend you when you get attacked. The thicker the skin, the ready you are for the war that is marketing. And the shit's different as the kids come in political systems. They fucking ready for this. They've been on the shit for like a decade. They've been studying the things on them YouTube since like 12 years old. Now they 22. They come in and take over us older cats. We adapt or we fall back and fail like the older cats before us that fell back and failed. Like history repeats itself. That's just the way it is. But adapt or you get the fuck up out the shit. I'm serious, I don't mean to be nice in this. This is fucking business, it's music business. Now we independent in this shit. That mean the business is your problem to deal with. That's what you do when you go independent. Labels, they carry you. If you want to not do the work, go get signed and give up like all the fiscals and the rights. And I don't know, I put the work in like from like 6:37 a.m. to like when I fall asleep at like 11:30 p.m. like 7 days a week. The fuck you need a weekend for? That's some shit that got invented in the last 100 years. So wait, for like history, people work like every fucking day to the grind to the point to stay alive, and then all of a sudden we got lazy and decided that Netflix was far more important. And that's kind of why I'm so bored with half these people as they complain about mornings and shit. Like, bro, that's the quietest time, ain't nobody talking to you. Read a book and get your mind fucking alive. But if you stay up all night when your brain is up in the hormonal places, it ain't that kind of surprising that you ain't winning them races. Like the early bird get the worm, and they say that because all the people who make fat stacks is out there at the gym at 6 a.m. That's actually facts. So if you want to meet some rich people, wake up early and go meet rich people. They ain't up at like fucking, they ain't up at 2 a.m. in the club. By 2 a.m. they home. They got the girls that they met up at the club at 11 a.m. by pulling up in the rolls. To get to that place in life, it's really a lot of different ways of life. And I'm not even saying that anything is right or wrong. I'm just saying that things are the way that they is. And if you want to navigate the system, you got to play by the rules that is written.
Damn!
Out in the street, they
Holden.
call it murder.
Holding it down again off the dome. I actually want to get some opinions from our guest today. What did you think of that rap? Broken Robots, Tony and Kat.
Dope.
Yeah,
Kept going.
Thank you.
You guys don't have to mute during this part. It's only when you guys are totally. Thank you for hanging out, by the way. Yeah, man. No, I love that. I loved your fucking. Hold on, I just love that you fucking what you do, man. Like I can't believe every time you come on here, I'm always blown away that this shit's all off the dome. Now that one part you started repeating, was that a hook already you got, or was
Nah, It's because I'm really into the idea of repetition and how rappers hate repetition. And I'm like, but bro, like everything else in music uses repetition to great effect. Like even if you look at other languages, they'll use repetition and they use fucking adjectives and shit.
Right.
So like I was having that debate earlier today, and often this is just shit. Like half of what I said was a response to shit that was said in the interview.
I know, I heard it.
So like that's just what it is. You just think about whatever's there, and then it's like a lot of it came from podcasting. You have to be able to think fast. And then rhyming is just rhyming. It's just, that's a whole other skill. You put the two together and you can go off the dome for a real long time.
Yeah. Dude, Holden, you always impress me. Again, can we get a shout out for Behind That Suit, please? Again, everybody, are you going live today or
Yeah, I'll be live in probably by like 6-ish my time. I don't know what time it is for you, but in about 40 minutes or so,
Okay,
I'm going to go live.
Cool. Yeah, so everybody, make sure you go. Well, I don't know. I have my mods, so I'm going to do it myself. Oh, never mind. My mod's there. Everybody, go follow
Reina
Behind.
Always holds it down. Shut up, Reina.
Holden, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Take care, man.
Peace. Saucy Chicken Nugget, you're in here. What do you want to do? I can't believe I put a piece of gum in my mouth, and I'm still on mic. Is it annoying to you guys when people are chewing gum on mic?
Yes.
Shut up. No one asked you. I was asking the Broken Robots. Does it annoy you when people are like?
That's I'm like, I don't know. I think it's because I smoke weed, but I have the worst mouth noise problem. Like all of the songs that when I'm recording, I'm like, I don't even chew gum. I don't know. It's really bad. It's a problem, but Tony edits around it, so it's cool.
I've had to edit out so much mouth noise. It's weird.
Mouth noise.
Seriously.
Hey, you know, I feel that though. I have to edit myself all the time with this podcast, and it's awful. I'm always like like all the time, and like sometimes I'll have so much saliva in my mouth that I'll choke on my own spit, so I'll have to like cough for like 2 minutes before we can. It's fucking disgusting. And so that's what I hear twice a week. I have to hear me go, hey gang.
Oh my God.
Saucy Chicken Nugget. How are you doing, my friend? How are you?
Good.
Yeah? How's your day going?
Good.
Awesome. So good all around. I love it. I love it. Saucy Chicken Nugget, what are you going to do for Cypher Deluxe today?
A song.
Ooh, I like it. And now, is this going to be an original song or is this going to be a cover song? What is this going to be?
A TV song.
Ooh, what show?
Steven Universe.
Oh, bro, I love Steven Universe. Hell yeah, that show's bomb. It's a good show.
Sounds like a child.
It is a child. It is a child. Saucy Chicken Nugget, go ahead. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and sing your song.
We are crystal gems. We'll always save the day. And if you think we can't, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in garnet, amethyst, and pearl, and Steven.
Hey, Saucy Chicken Nugget.
That was honestly,
That's great.
that sounded better than most of my performances. You got real potential, kid.
Yeah, Saucy.
Never stop.
Never stop singing.
Hello and welcome to We Speak English Good TV. I'm your announcer, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Saucy Chicken Nugget, thank you so much for coming by the show. Do you have any questions for the Broken Robots? Saucy, you there, buddy?
Yes.
Do you have a question for our guest today?
Yep.
What is that?
What is your favorite thing to do on stream?
Your favorite thing to... Oh, well, they don't stream. So how about what's your favorite thing to do on stage? How about that?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to do on stage?
I mean,
You mean like perform?
Yeah.
sing, jump around.
Oh yeah, jump, throw my guitar
like-
around.
I like jumping.
There you go.
I like spinning around on stage.
So yeah, we like doing circles, spins. The last show, Tony and I were doing like full spins all over the place.
You guys got wireless stuff?
No.
Oh.
No, it's very risky.
That is really risky. Did you guys ever see you ever see that video where the dude is trying to do like fancy stuff with his guitar and I think he ends up throwing it and it like hits the drums or something? Fuck,
I've seen tons of that. Yeah.
I love those. Those are great. Or Victor Wooten too. I don't know how that motherfucker spins his bass around him. Have you ever seen Victor Wooten fucking do the bass spin? It's nuts.
No, but we're gonna look into that now.
It's on the top of the list there. We're getting right on that. Okay, yeah, Victor Wooten is so cool. All right, so Jesse, I know I promised you something. I know I promised you a loop, but I'm gonna give you since this is Cypher Deluxe, I gotta stay true to the gizame. Roll through the projects, sold in half ounce of cocaine. I'm gonna do a rap. And then we're gonna end this shit because I've made myself look like an asshole way too much today. And well, I still got the rest of the day to go. So let me see. I'm gonna pop out of Cypher Deluxe, guys, since there's nobody else in there. I'm gonna pop on out, and if anyone is still interested, no worries, go ahead and get on in there. But I am going to do something. Let me see if I actually hit this right. I don't know if I'm gonna be. I haven't practiced this, so it's been a while. So let me see if I got it. Let's get a beat going. Yeah, that works. This will work. I don't like that. Hold on. Let me see. There we go. I think this will work. You gotta hit it. You gotta hit it just right, baby. You gotta hit it just right. All right, let's see if I can. Oh my God. Let's see if I can hit this. I don't know if this is gonna be good or bad, but we'll see. Oh, hold on. I gotta do this too, because I'm that person. All right, here we go. Pick it, pack it, fire it up, and come along and take a hit from the bong. Put the blunt down just for a second. Don't get me wrong, it's not a new method. Inhale, exhale. Just got an ounce in the mail. I'm up with the big fat cone. Double barrel bong is getting me stoned. I'm skillet. Fuck! I'm doing this again. Hold on. Let's do it again. Here we go. From the top. Pick it, pack it, fire it up, and come along and take a hit from the bong. Put the blunt down just for a second. Don't get me wrong, it's not a new method. Inhale, exhale. Just got an ounce in the mail. God damn it, that was terrible. I like a blunt or a big fat cone, but my double barrel bong is getting me stoned. I'm skillet. There's water inside, don't spill it. It smells like shit on the carpet, smell it. Goes down smooth when I get a clean hit of the funky, skunky, smelly green shit. Sing my song, puff all night long as I take hits from the bong. Hits from the bong, hits from the bong, hits from the bong. Hits from the bone, hits from the bone. All right, let me try the second verse. Here we go. Smoke. Why are you fucking me up? Here we need a new second verse, new beat. Here we go. Let's smoke that bowl, hit the bong, and then take that finger off of that hole. Plug it, unplug it, don't strain. I love you, Mary J. She never complains when I hit Mary with that flame. I lights up the cherry. She's so good to me. When I pack a fresh bowl, I clean the screen. Don't get me stirred up. The smoke through the bubbling water is making it pure. I gotta take a hit and hold, just like Chong. I get a bullet. Okay. All right. Fail. It's a fail. I'm gonna quit. Hey, Jesse, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for that sub. There was that really terrible rendition of Hits from the Bong. All right, guys. Now that I'm fully and thoroughly embarrassed, let's say goodbye to our guest, Manfred the Robot. Bro, I was hoping you would show up. This song is for you. Hold on, because this is Manfred. I was really hoping Manfred would show up, so I gotta do this for. This is for Manfred. This is for you, Manfred. I'm just gonna let this play for a little bit, guys.
01011010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101 I got too much information, can't compute this mass frustration. Algorithmic crashing nation, gorgeous license. Viruses are quite contagious. Did the work to save and stand in line for your safe places, battling our own complacency. We're so complacent. We're so complacent.
You know.
Algorithmic crashing nation. We're so complacent. Battling our own complacency. We're so complacent in our algorithmic crashing nation. 0101101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101 News and media sensations, monsters of their own creation, profiting off our engagement.
Manfred the Robot says you guys were saying some really filthy things there. What do you have to say for yourselves in regards to the filthy things you're saying in your binary code there?
I don't say anything filthy. All I'm saying is 01011010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101010101
Well, Manfred said it was filthy, so he's the robot. He's the robot. I gotta go off what the robot says. I don't know. You guys are broken robots, okay? You guys are broken robots. Manfred is a one whole robot.
He's a working robot.
It does translate into something though. So if anybody is interested,
it's one word. We'll give you that clue.
Yeah, it's one word. I say one word, and it exactly translates, and I say the same thing every time.
Is it complacent?
No.
Oh.
But it's a good guess.
Actually, I'm a two-hole robot. Oh, okay, I got you. My bad. My bad, Manfred. I didn't know. I wasn't trying to disparage you or denigrate you in any way. You know I love you. All right, guys. We did that for Manfred. We had to watch and listen to that song because Manfred was here. Who are we rating, everyone? Who are we rating? Reina, do you have anyone in mind? I'm sure these guys want to go and like make music or something. So let's figure out who we're gonna raid and let's get the F out of here. Let's get the freak out of here, man. Hold on. She's not giving me that. It's an awesome song. Thank you guys. You're welcome, Manfred. And here you guys can find Broken Robots there. Definitely go follow them up. Be their fans. Go to their stuff. Do their things. Who we rated? Oh my God. Alana, Jeanette, Existence. Ooh, we might go Existence. Wild But Sober, or we're going to go Wild But Sober. We haven't seen Wild But Sober in a long time, guys. Wild But Sober is a VIP here, and I love him, and he is one of the greatest producers that I know right now, besides Tony over here. So,
thank you.
So let's go and say hi to our friend Wild is watching something though. What is he watching? What is he not? So is he not streaming music? What is he watching? I don't care. Okay, well, we gotta figure out something. These people have to go. Okay, Ziggy, they have things to do.
Yeah, man.
We got
so many important things to do.
They got important things to do. They can't be just sitting here waiting for us to write. He's doing a watch party. Oh, okay. I got you. Then fine. Fuck it. We're going to see Wooby again. Wooby, here we come. Again. Wooby is also a VIP here, everyone. And he's also a wonderful DJ out of Manchester, England. He's a mensch. Yeah, so we're gonna go say hi to Doobie, Doobie1, DJ Wooby1, and I type good too. So I think I did it right. I think I did it. Here we go. We did it. We're making it happen, everybody. We're making history. We're making history here. All right, guys, grab your raid calls, and I will see you guys on Sunday. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our monthly music stream. It's gonna be me and Jason and a whole lot of marijuana. So tune in, and we're gonna do it. Wade. What about Wade? We got bongs to rip. Exactly. We got bongs to rip. All right, guys. I'll see you over at Woobies. I'll see you on Sunday, and I'll see you on Monday too for Nicole Stella Music, who is a music streamer as well. So, bye. Okay, give me 1 second, guys, and we will say goodbye properly here and not all weird.